So that's the first project I finished. White for the nails. And I like it this way better. So now it's a plushie. Hello! I'm Sarah from Me Crochet and I crochet plushies. It's a new week, week 3 of May. I'm going to show you all I've made from last week. So let's get started. In the beginning of the week I started a fairy from this book of magazine. This guy I finished. Flower fairies, they're very cute, and I started it this week. Then I continued on Ivysaur's leaves. This is left over from the leaves. I finished 6, 7 and 8, and then I had later on assembled everything, but this is the yarn. The first project I finished was a week challenge. I said to myself I'm going to make another orange bunny. And I did that, so that's the first project I finished. And after that I made another one, so I have 3 that I said I wanted to make. So the orange bunnies are finished and I can start on the green. I'm really happy with that, but I didn't use a yarn label. I will leave the patterns in the description if you want to know where they're from. I finished them. I have an orange bunny. Aren't they adorable? This is the yarn left over, no yarn label, soft fun, and an orange yarn. Really pretty color. After assembling the leaves, I started crocheting the nails of Ivysaur with this yarn, white. It's called Snow, I think. Yeah, it's called Snow, so white for the nails. I did the sewing part later that day. Also did the felt part. And I did something crazy. I finished him! Isn't it adorable? I really like him. It's huge. It's very huge. But I finished him. He's so cute. I really like the bottom. It's butt, flower, ears with face. It's so adorable. I took, I think, a month. I'm not sure. I started, I think, in April or before that. I think it was April. But I finished him. Yay! That's the second one I made from Ivysaur, just like I did with the Bulbasaurs. And I'm not gonna do that with Venusaur, I think. I'm not sure. But I will try and figure out another project I want to do from Pokemon. That will be for later. But I finished Ivysaur! Yay! After that I continued on the fairy. And I finished him! Isn't it adorable? I really like him. I crocheted the hair myself because you had to use special yarn and I didn't have that. So I designed the hair myself. It's really cute. Really like it. It's adorable with its feet. Yeah, I really like him. And I like it this way better. So now it's a plushie. I like it how it is right now. Yeah, I like it. I use this one for the legs. I use this one for the outfit. I use this one for the hair. And this one for the skin. And for the wings I use soft fun because you had to use a different yarn. I use soft fun for that. This is Katona. Really like this yarn very much. But you had to use a bigger yarn for the wings, so I did that. I had one yarn label used from the red, and that's going in the basket for the end of the year. This is the yarn label from the week before. I finished the birds, and this is from the light blue scrap yarn. I forgot to show you Ivysaur's yarn. I used rose for the flower, bright turquoise for the body, pickle for the leaves, and snow for the nails. I used a lot of yarn for Ivysaur. I'm gonna count them. I used 3 yarn labels for rose, for the flower. I used 5 bright turquoise, and for the body and head and ears and stuff, so a lot of yarn for that. And I used 4 for pickle, so I used 12 yarn labels in total for Ivysaur. That's a lot of yarn for a big project, but I finished it and I'm happy with the results. So these are going in the basket for the end of the year, and we're going to see how much I've used. After the fairy, I continued on my blanket. I'm at week 11. For this week I had to finish week 10, but I already finished that last week, so I'm far ahead. I have to finish week 10 this week, but I am at week 11. I have yarn used and I have to do 10 rows, and then the main blanket is done and I can start on the border. So I'm really far with this project as well. And this is acrylic. Then I started on these. I have 2 and I have 4 in total. Look at them, I have 4. Aren't they adorable? I really like them. They're so cute. Oh, so adorable. And I think I can make one more with the yarn, with the velvet yarn. I hope so. I am going to try that out later, but that will be another project I want to try. I have enough for the shell part, but I don't think I have enough for the body. But I'm going to try with this velvet yarn, Little Darling and Katja. That's what I'm going to do. Then I have a new project for my niece that I want to crochet, a little plushie, a bunny. And these are the yarn I'm using. Amy for the head and the ears, and pink for acrylic for the blanket. So I'm going to combine these two, so it's gonna be cute. Yay! I'm gonna try on that, and I hope today, but we'll see. I have a lot to do, a lot to crochet, a lot of ideas. So if you like this kind of content, you can subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. Bye!